So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna show you my top 3 knots that I use. I mean, we were just sitting here talking about it. I mean, I can't think of any other knots that I use other than these 3. They're all for different things. I mean, I have, you know, the improved clinch knot, which is like the first one that everybody learns when they're growing up. I mean, you know, twist it around, go back through again. You got it. That one works great for monos and fluorocarbons. We got the Palomar knot, which is great for braid and cinching down onto braid and not slipping. That is basically really solid for that. But you can also use the Palomar for all the other, you know, mono or fluorocarbon. And then what I'm going to show you first here is something that I've just come to use a ton in the last couple of years, is the Alberto knot. Basically, it is a great knot for tying thin braid to you know, thinner fluorocarbon. So we're talking like a 10-pound super line or an 8-pound super line to a 8-pound or 6-pound fluorocarbon. Okay, and makes a really super strong knot, along with a very thin profile, so great for casting through guides and whatnot. I do a ton of, you know, finesse bass fishing where we're either running drop shots or running little tiny tubes or net heads or paddle tails, and this has become something where you need that sensitivity of that main line, but you want that invisibility of the fluorocarbon too. So it's really always been a problem for a lot of people how they join those 2 lines together. So this is how I do it. First, what you're going to do is you're going to take your desired length of fluorocarbon. In this case, I love this Drennan fluorocarbon fly leader. It's very resilient, very expensive, but it works great for me. Basically, I'm going to take it and I'm going to make a loop. All right. So you have the loop. You're basically just going to be making that braid squeeze this loop so tight that it can't even slip through or anything, and that's going to make the that's how it's going to adhere to each other. So now you're going to take your, in this case it's white, this is Cortland Master braid. I'm going to come up from underneath and I'm going to come through my hole here. Then I'm going to control. Everything about this knot is about how you keep your fingers and how you control that line. So basically, once I'm through from the bottom up, I'm going to pull out about 6 inches of line like so, and I got my double of my fluorocarbon in my hand. I'm going to take my extra fingers and I'm going to make wraps up from the loop. Okay, in this case with these kind of lines, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on my way up. Okay, then I'm going to grab it here and control it and slowly let go of this. See, I got my line still coming down, and then I'm going to go 7 back down over the top of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I want this to go out the same way it came in. So look at that, we got the 2 pieces going back out. Now I like to hold that right there because I don't want any of these loops slipping down underneath the back of this loop. All right, so I'm just going to tighten it a little. Now what I want to do is I want to get this all wet. This is the tightening down process of this is very important to make it work well. If you just pull this real fast, all those lines moving so quickly create heat, and it will break this real easy. So you got to look at, get it all juicy, and then slowly tighten her down. Once it's tight, you can grab the 2 main lines and slowly tighten it. You'll watch everything cinch together. And if you did it right, you can pull on those things dang hard. All right, if you pull on it and it snaps, you did something wrong. All right, or you got bad line or something like that. But if you take a good close look at that knot now, I mean, that is a really low profile. I mean, your fingers slide right over that. You can cast that right through an eyelet, and the more, you know, that braid is very resistant to, you know, abrasions and whatnot, so it's almost protecting the loop. So once you have that done, I like to I give a little bit of tag on the braid, because the braid is floppy and it moves all around. On the fluorocarbon, I try to snip very close because it's not going to slip. And now that right there is a dynamic little knot that is ready to keep. You got a nice, you know, light fluorocarbon to light super line. You can hook any little creature bait onto there you want. It's gonna be so sensitive, paired with a nice little, you know, medium smallmouth rod or walleye rod. It's a killer. So that's probably one of my favorites right there. But between that, the Palomar, and the improved clinch, I don't know what else you need. I mean, and here's some 8-pound fluorocarbon. So this is a pretty popular setup right here. I mean, basically you're gonna pass the line through and grab it, then you're gonna twist the lure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I usually go. So you end up with a situation like that. Then you're gonna take this tag and pass it back through the bottom hole there, then grab those pieces, and then you're going to pass that back through that again. All right, you're going to gently tighten it. Now you got to, here's, you know, the gross part of knot tying, you got to wet it. You got to wet it. Pull it down nice and tight, trim off your edge. I mean, basically that right there. Make sure, don't cut it down too. I see people liking to chop it right at the knot. Leave yourself a little bit, because these will slip sometimes if you're snagged or something like that. But that is, see how you got a bunch of nice wraps all stacked on top of each other. You got your little tag end coming out. It is a rock solid, very strong knot that's been used for ages, time tested, time proven. One of my favorites just for tying on little baits and stuff like that. Improved clinch knot. So the next knot that I love is the Palomar knot. It's a must-have in the world of braid. I got a lot of guys, really a couple guys that are very high-end fishermen that still like to take braid and tie an improved clinch knot or some kind of wrap around the line knot with their braid. And I can tell you this, if you take it and you tie it off to something that doesn't move, like a doorknob or something that doesn't move, and you make a knot and you pull it and you use your arm and you pull, it will slide out and it will pop. Okay, it will not break. You will slide the knot out. So if you are cool with that, then go ahead and keep using that knot. If you want something that does not slip ever, you should use the Palomar knot. So basically what we're going to do with that, I mean, this is how I'm just doing the things that I most often do with it. Now you can use the Palomar knot to tie fluorocarbon, or the Palomar knot does everything. Monofilament, fluorocarbon, braid. You can use that to tie directly onto a tube. In fact, a lot of guys like that as their main knot. I use it for, I mean, anything that I'm tying my 80-pound muskie braid to. So that's what we're going to show today. This, I'm tying it up to one of my trolling leaders. So basically what I like to do is I'll make a big old loop. So we got the loop. I'm going to pass the loop through whatever I'm tying it onto. So there we have a doubled over piece of line going through the leader. Okay. So now all I'm going to do is take this and make a overhand knot very loose. Okay, you do not want to tighten this down or snug this down too tightly right off the bat. You want this to just be, keep everything loose. That's the biggest problem people do, is they cinch it right down or they do whatever. Now what you have to do after you have this loop at the end. Whatever you're tying on to this line needs to pass through this. It doesn't matter which way, but you need to pass it through. So basically I'm going to take this leader and I'm going to pass it right through this loop. So it passes all the way through. Now here's a big part of it. I'm going to hold this and make it so that no line can fall beneath. Alright? And then I'm going to slowly tighten it down. With this, I actually don't like to wet it. And then you're just going to slowly cinch. And it all comes down on itself. You can pull the tag end. Make that tight. Pull the front end tight. Now you can, and I mean now I'm just going to trim off the extra line. This knot right here, once you've done that, now it's not going to slip. You can put this and tie this to whatever you want, and you can pull this, and this line's going to fail before this knot slips. Okay? I mean, a lot of guys like running these flippity things that they tie their improved cinch knots on this and think that it's good because they do a couple extra wraps. If you pull on it hard, it comes undone. So just know that, and use it. That's, if you're looking for a no-nonsense braid to any kind of terminal tackle knot, Palomar is what you should go with. Thanks for checking out my 3 favorite knots. I hope this helped you out in some way. If you like this video and you like some of the other ones here on our channel, please make sure you like and subscribe, and tune in. We're going to be constantly putting out cool stuff, and this summer's got a lot of action ahead. So thanks a lot. Have a good one.